We now officially know the time that New World Aeternum is launching, and we have some extra details about the servers. So let's jump in, let's talk about what is on the screen right now. So obviously we did know it was coming on October 15th, that much has been announced now for several months, but many people have been asking about the time that the server will go live. And I was always saying, oh, maybe it's going to be around about, I don't know, 9 AM Pacific time. Well, it turns out I was wrong. So at 3:30 AM UTC, by the way, if you're in the UK, that's actually 4:30 AM, on October 14th, so effectively the morning of the 15th if you're in the UK or EU, but actually if you're in America it's 8:30 PM Pacific time on the 14th, the servers will go down across the globe, and you will need to download the entire game again, by the way. This isn't a normal patch, this is everything. But when will they open? Well, in European and AP Southeast, it's actually going to open at 7 AM UTC, which is 8 AM UK time, 9 AM Central European time. Actually 12 midnight Pacific time, but I don't know if anybody would really care about that. So basically, I'm going to wake up on October 15th, have to download the entire game again very quickly, and then get straight in. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I can do it. It's just very, very early and very, very quick. For everybody else, again, you'll wake up and your server will probably be live if you're in the US, because it's actually going to be happening at 6 AM Pacific time, which is 1 PM UTC. You know, I went everywhere there, but 1 PM UTC, 2 o'clock UK time. Not that the UK people need to know about this, but just in case. So, I mean, I'm surprised they're doing this staggered launch, but might actually help alleviate some of the server stress, so makes sense. There's no actual information about the number of fresh start servers or anything yet. This will just be for everybody. I mean, I'm assuming the fresh start servers are going to come out at the same time, because that's the console release, so of course, you know, it makes sense. I'd be very surprised if they don't do that. You can pre-download it on console the day before, on October 13th. Can't do that on PC because obviously it's going to be the same client, so it wouldn't work on PC, but on console, you can pre-download it. And they actually say here, this is what's going to happen. New World Aeternum update will show in your game's library page, and you'll need to actually like click it and install it. You might not need to do it if you have automatic ones turned on. I'm sort of wondering if I can leave my computer on and have it automatically download. Probably not, but gonna give it a try. Although my internet's good enough that I can probably just download it on the day off, but yeah, I don't want to miss out on that first fresh smell. The rest of this, if you've been paying attention, you may have already seen, but some of you might not have. And basically, the legacy servers are not just going to be the current legacy servers, they're going to be the legacy servers now and the old fresh. So the current standard and fresh servers are going to be part of what's called legacy. The launch servers plus the Brimstone Fresh servers are all now going to be legacy, and all the new servers are going to be standard, new fresh, basically. And the transfers work as you would expect. Legacy can't get into standard, but standard world people can get into legacy, like the old fresh, basically. That might not be the case if it gets like disabled, if it's at capacity, if it's full, or it has no in transfer. Basically, you know, you can transfer in, you might not be able to transfer in temporarily if the server is super full. Okay, nothing crazy there. This next bit, I don't know if this is forever or temporary. The ability to transfer regions will be disabled once New World Aeternum launches. Don't know why they are removing that feature. I'm assuming it's to do with like console and it just being an absolute massive pain in the backside. Maybe console can't do that as easily as PC. So PC is going to get gimped a little bit because console can't do it. I mean, it's fair enough, but yeah, a bit weird. So if you have any characters you want to transfer a region, then do it now, because you ain't going to be able to later. And then there's some FAQs. Now, some of this is actually very important, especially if you're a console player, actually. So yeah, cross server, everybody knows it's cross server, no change there. We also know it's not cross play. So this is like, it's cross server, but it's not cross play. You can't log into the PC and then play that same character on a PlayStation. That's not going to work. But it's this next bit that is super interesting. And we sort of knew about this, but I'm actually thinking most people won't play on these servers, and I think they're going to be dead. So yes, players on PlayStation 5 can create characters on standard, PlayStation only worlds, while players on Xbox Series X and S can create characters on standard Xbox Series only worlds. You might think, oh, well, why will they play with the PC players? Well, they're probably not going to. You can only get them if you're on PlayStation, only get them if you're on Xbox. However, to get to it, you actually need the console player to turn off the crossplay setting. By default, this is going to be on. And if you have it on, the platform-specific worlds will not actually be visible. So by default, as you can see here, it's turned on, which means by default, people will not see these console-only servers, which I think is going to render them completely dead. and I would recommend everybody stays away from them. If this wasn't the case, like if it was the recommended server that you should go on a console server if you were on console, then I'd suggest everybody should do that. But in fact, the opposite is true, right? They're going to be completely dead. You don't see them by default. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't suspect if there's like hundreds of people in those servers rather than thousands, unless more people have it off by default, but I don't know if that's suitable because it says you've got to turn it off in the social tab in the game. So I don't think people are going to play those servers. Now, the console players there, probably a little bit, I'd be a little bit annoyed if I was a console player, right? Because I think playing with console only people would be a better experience if you were on console. You know, you're more likely to get into the wars, more likely not to get smashed in Outpost Rush or something, if there was the numbers at least. But now the console people are going to be with us in Outpost Rush, Arena, everywhere, and yeah, they're not going to get into wars basically. If you're on standard, by the way, you can't go to across a console only server. It doesn't actually say if you can go from a console only server the other way around, I don't think. Like, I don't know if you're on a PlayStation server, if you can go to the cross world server. They do say, are there any plans to merge these servers? And the answer is no current plans, which is the answer they should have given when they did Fresh earlier. Technically, I almost did a video how Amazon broke a promise, because do you remember when they said never? They were like, you know, everybody was like, hey, will Fresh and Legacy ever get merged? And they were like, no, we will never do that. And people were like, why are you saying never? Like, that's pretty weird. Why are you saying never? And technically, they are upholding their own rule simply by de-freshing them. The Fresh servers are getting designated effectively as Legacy, which means they're not getting merged. You can just transfer freely. So I suspect the same thing will happen. If the game's around in 5 years and they do another massive relaunch or something like that, then the standard worlds will become Legacy and they might do Fresh and they'll be called Standard or Fresh. This time though, they've not used the word never, which is a big improvement. So basically, I think we're all playing together, which a lot of people wanted anyway in the first place, right? I think we're all playing together. I think it makes sense. We're not all necessarily playing at the same time. It looks like the EU is getting in there a little bit earlier. I can't really do the maths off the top of my head. 6 hours earlier, I think. I mean, to be fair, I just did that calculation using the UTC. I really should have just looked at Pacific time because I can do that maths, you know. I'm very good at maths like that. But fair enough, I understand why they would maybe split it out. Those are times. The reality is, right, if you're in the Pacific time, you wouldn't want to be getting up at 3 a.m. to play this. The only problem is, not a massive problem, I think that's 9 a.m. Eastern if you are in that server, which, I mean, still pretty early, right? You're going to wake up. Just means you don't have to get up stupid early. Obviously, if you do nights or something, you might get a little bit wrecked by this. Overall, it makes sense. It's not a lot of time to download it if you're on PC, but obviously they can't do that because it's just a patch and nobody wants the servers to be off forever. In fact, they're probably already going to have annoyed some people by the fact that the game's going to be going down at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time the night before. That'll be annoying for some, but not an issue for me. I'll be well asleep. Again, the only issue is actually downloading it. But yeah, the other times, no news about the number of servers and the names of servers. That would be handy for guilds that are planning to go together. What you don't really want is to like it to be 8 a.m. and everybody trying to desperately get in but not sure which server they're going, and it just being a little bit chaotic. It'd be nice to actually just have a list of servers, and maybe that will come. As for console servers, I'm pretty much happy to confirm if this is true, where the default is that crossplay is on and you don't even see the servers if crossplay is on, then the console only servers are effectively dead. Dead to rights. Don't bother, don't do it, recommend nobody bothers. Unless you're a lunatic, in which case crack on, live your life. Don't subscribe. I don't know what I'm doing with this channel. I don't know, to be honest, I'm trying to put everything back to the main channel, and I haven't made a video on this channel now for like 30 days, but went to say hi, talk to you. Come and watch me play New World Aeternum. I'm going to be there. I've got to arrange some childcare to actually get there, but we're going to try and be there first thing as early as possible. Ready, waiting, coping our way all the way to it. These are actually the wrong sunglasses, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to be smelling that beautiful copium. Come and watch. Have a beautiful day. Like and subscribe. No, don't do that. Don't subscribe. You can like, though. But have a beautiful day. Goodbye. Peace and love.